Do you want to grow your email list, earn some extra visibility, have fun engaging your existing community, and tee up a bunch of sales at the same time? Well, then putting together a challenge is likely the perfect next business move for you. Kind of known for my challenges, and I love putting them together. So in this video, I'm taking you behind the scenes of my free challenge creation process. Hey Empire Builders, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Haley Dale and I am a content strategist helping you create more purposeful, productive, and yes, profitable content at the same time. So if that sounds like something you're looking for, make sure to click that subscribe button down below that video or that little bell icon to be notified when new videos go live for value-packed videos just like this one every single Monday. When is the perfect time to host a challenge? Before we get into the actual how-to of putting together a challenge, I think we should talk about when is the right time? Because I think that's a question that I get a lot of the time, probably the most, about people wondering what freebie is right for me. Should I do a webinar? Should I do a challenge? Should I do a PDF? All the options are out there. And so deciding whether or not a free challenge is the right time for you is a critical decision in deciding to put together the effort of putting together your first free challenge or your next free challenge if you've already tried it before. So what I love about challenges is that they are so versatile. There are so many different purposes for them. It fits many different offer types. So whether you're launching a membership, whether you are trying to fill out your one-on-one service offerings, you can use a challenge to do that. The only qualification that I really think that is, it's not right for you is if you don't have the time needed to put it together. So if you're running say for instance, a 5-day challenge, you would want to block out at least 2 weeks in order to deliver that, where you are fully focused on putting all the content together, being fully present for running it live, and then having a little bit of after time after for making that offer and making that sale as well. So that would be really the only place that I would say it might not be right for you is if you don't have the time dedicated in order to make it work. So if you have enough time and if you have enough bandwidth, a challenge is great. It's great to experiment with a challenge. Let's get into the step-by-step process of putting together your first or next challenge. So I like to break it down into phases, and phase number 1 is all about the planning side of things. So we really want to get a clear idea of exactly what your challenge is going to entail, what you need to put together so that when it comes time to creating the content, you have a GPS, you have a roadmap to follow so that you're not feeling like you are driving without a map somewhere where you don't know where you're going. So we want to make sure we have a really solid plan in place. I think that all great challenges begin with a great topic. So one of my favorite things to do as a starting place, and you may already have an idea for your challenge, but if you don't, you want to start here. And the first thing that you would do is really brainstorm. Embrace the brainstorming process. This might take you a couple of days, as I recommend that you do some brainstorming, step away, come back, do some brainstorming, maybe get some inspiration for it, but take the time needed in order to get as many ideas out as possible. So I think that there are really 4 criteria for evaluation when you have your list of topics. So say you come up with a ton of ideas for your potential challenge topic. Now, how do you actually decide which one to move forward with? And I think that there are 4 things that you can evaluate your challenge topic ideas on. Thing number 1 is, does this topic relate to the offer that I want to sell off the back of the challenge? Criteria number 2 is, does this actually feel doable? Do I know a lot about this topic? And does it feel like something I have the bandwidth in order to create and put together? So is this the right topic for my amount of time I have available to put it together? Number 3, is this a topic that excites me? Never diminish how much joy you get through your content. So when it comes to choosing a topic, we want to choose something that excites you as well, because we want something that you're going to be so excited to deliver to your community. And so choosing a topic that doesn't bore you to tears is a great criteria for evaluating those challenge topics as well. And then number 4, we've thought about you. Now we want to think about your ideal client. So between the topics, you've whittled them down through this evaluation criteria. And now it's time to introduce that very important question of, is this something that my ideal client is going to be interested in? So we can't get around that. We need to create something that's going to be in demand for your ideal client or customer that that you want to attract and eventually sell your offer, whatever you're planning on selling at the end of your challenge. So we want to make sure that we're choosing something that is going to be appealing to them. It's a problem that they really have, and it's something that they really need solving. So by the end of going through these criteria, hopefully you just have one or maybe two topics left, which are a lot easier to choose from than this whole range of topics or having no topics at all. So that's the process that I recommend for choosing your challenge topic. And that is really our first step in phase number 1 of planning your challenge. The next thing that we want to think about in planning your challenge is, what is the purpose of it? And we want to think about it from both angles. So we want to think about, what is the purpose for me? Like, what is the offer that I'm leading up towards? So by using those 4 evaluation criteria, we have a great topic. We know that it is something that relates to our offer, and we know it's something that excites us. But what we want to do in this phase, in the planning part of things, is we want to tease out what that connection is. How is your challenge topic a great lead-in for this offer? So take a bit of time to think about the connection between your challenge topic and the challenge you're going to be running and the offer that you're eventually going to be selling. But then we don't just want to think about you. We don't just want to think about what you're getting out of things. We want to be really clear about what our challenger is going to get as well. So we want to think both tangibly and intangibles as well. So tangibles would be, they're walking away with a challenge I just ran was my monthly content sprint method. And so people are walking away with a month's worth of content created and scheduled so that they could put their content on autopilot and take October off. So what is that tangible thing that your challenger is going to be walking away from the challenge with? And then underneath it, what is the intangibles that they are walking away with? Do they have more confidence? Are they able to get a little bit of extra R&R? Are they getting clarity about what they want? So think about, like, what is the why and the purpose behind those tangibles that they are actually getting from your challenge. So go a little bit deeper to think about, well, why does this matter? What does this really mean? So by thinking about that, we're thinking about what the purpose of our challenge is, and we're teasing out what it is for both us and our challengers. Then we also want to think about the dates. So this is probably another area I get a lot of questions about when it comes to challenge is, how long should my challenge be? And I get a lot of people coming to me saying they want to run 30-day challenges or 100-day challenges even. I think I had one. But shorter is always better when it comes to challenges, because we want to think about, like, the natural drop-off point. We want to think about people's motivation and how hard it is to keep people motivated long term. And so by creating a short challenge, you're able to get them a win a lot quicker, because you're going to be capturing them when they are most motivated. My sweet spot for challenges is 5 days, but I've had 3 days work really well, and I've had up to 10 days work really well, but I wouldn't go any longer than that. So be really clear on how long your challenge should be based on the amount of motivation that your challengers are going to need to maintain in order to get through the daily content. So once you have your planning done, it's time to move on to phase 2 of 5, which is mapping out your challenge content. So we want to make sure that we are creating a really juicy path for our challengers to go on. And we want to make sure that it is a really purposeful path as well. We know what they're walking away with. So how are we going to take them from where they are now to that place where they have these tangibles and intangibles accomplished or created for themselves? So I like to think about daily themes. So you know how long your challenge is going to be. Is it going to be 10 days? Is it going to be 5 days? And so you're going to know how many activities you need to map out based on the number of days. So if you're running a 5-day challenge, you're going to need all of the activities and content for 5 days of the challenge. So I like to think about the Wizard of Oz here. The end goal is meeting the wizard, aka those intangibles. What is that goal? What is that thing that I'm striving for? And then the yellow brick road, we want to plot that course that they're going to be going along. And that is your path. And that is the daily challenge content that you're mapping out here. So for every single day, I like to remember it in terms of head, heart, and hands. So in terms of the hands, what am I having people doing? In terms of the head, what what am I having people learning? What are they learning? What am I teaching? And then heart, what am I making people feel? What emotion do I want them to feel during this day of the challenge? Do I want them feeling really excited? Do I want them feeling capable? So thinking about that as well, because you can bring those in through the stories you use, through the examples you use, through adding in some extra elements of motivation there that cater to how you want to make people feel. So when you think about your head piece of the challenge content, you want to think about, what am I teaching on this day of the challenge? And then from that teaching point, what am I having people then go and do? We want to make sure that it is not just heavy content for your challenge, and it's not just all doing, but making sure we're balancing things. And so you want to map out what each activity is going to be, what you're teaching, as well as maybe the story that you're using to make the point really stick with your challengers. So during phase 2, you want to map out each day's content and think about that head, heart, and hand piece. So phase number 3, once we're ready to actually get to the creating piece of things, because we've mapped it out, we know what our purpose is, it's just time to start creating right now. So I like you to start thinking about, what is the requirements for each day? How am I going to be delivering this challenge? Do I need emails? Do I need social media prompts? Where is this challenge being hosted? And so what content do I need for each day of the challenge? Do I need videos? Do I need worksheets? Do I need checklists? Do I need a page on my website for each day? So thinking about, what do you need, not even thinking about the content, but like, how is that challenge delivered, and an itemized list of the different pieces and types of content you're going to need. So that's number 1, is thinking about how it's going to be delivered. And so what are your content type requirements? So once you have that decided, it's time to move on to the actual creation piece of things. And at this time of things, I want you to just focus on drafting the content, just outlining things. You don't need to be designing things and opening up Canva or Photoshop or InDesign in order to actually create these pieces, or filming the videos at this point. At this stage, we just want to make sure that you are like drafting out your content, so that when it does come time to design, you have everything right there. So in terms of the order I like to use when I'm creating my content, I like to start with my worksheet. So this is my hand piece of the challenge. So going back to my content map, I like to think about, what are the worksheets or the workbooks for this day of the challenge that are going to facilitate them doing something, them implementing this step, this day of the challenge activity. And so I like to draft those out. I'm usually doing it in a Google Doc. And then I move on to the videos and just thinking about my speaking notes, thinking about the examples I want to use, thinking a little bit about, like, am I going to show my screen for this video? Am I going to be direct to camera? So thinking about what that's going to be. So I like to map out my videos next, and then I do my emails. And this is when I bring in a bit of the heart piece. So how do I want people to feel on this day of the challenge? I already know that from the content map. But here I really think about, how am I going to, I'm going to bring a story into this email, or I'm going to bring an inspirational quote or something to get people reflecting and thinking in a way that supports the way I want them to feel in this day of the challenge. So thinking about that. So I'm outlining that email that I'm going to be creating. And then the prompts, so the social media prompts. So if I'm hosting this in a Facebook group, I think about what is the daily prompt that's going to go along with that day's activities. And I like to just go day by day at this point. So I go do all of day 1, then I do all of day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, or however long the challenge is. By the end of this phase, you should have all of your content drafted for the challenge before moving on to phase number 4. Our next phase of things is to finish up your challenge content. So here's where we're actually breaking out those design tools, and we're going to get to work in finishing those pieces that we drafted in phase number 3. So I like to start with designing the worksheet. So opening up Canva, or opening up Keynote, or opening up InDesign, and actually going and turning those drafts into finished PDFs that are going to deliver, that people are going to be using for that day of the challenge. So then after I'm finished that, I like to go and record my videos. So oftentimes when I'm doing a challenge, I like to simply share my screen and actually show myself going through the daily worksheet or the daily template or checklist, so that I can explain things as I go, so they can watch along and do along with me. So I like to record the videos, and I'm saving screen grabs of the worksheets that I'm using. And then I move on to designing the banners. So I'm thinking I want my daily banners, I want my welcome and sign up banners as well. So I like to think about all the sizes that I'm going to need. need? So is this going to be in a Facebook group? So do I need a Facebook group banner? Is this going to be on a web page? So do I need a web page banner? Say if I'm going to be doing daily emails, I need an email banner. So thinking about when I do the day one banner, I create it in all the different sizes that I need. Same thing with day two and however long the challenge is. And then I do those extra kind of welcome and sign up ones for the promotional side of things. I'm just getting ahead of myself. So I'm only going into that design software once. Then I design the daily prompt images. And usually if I'm doing these in a Facebook group or anywhere else, I'm doing them just 1080 by 1080. So kind of that square Instagram size. If you don't have templates for these things, I just want to mention Creative Market. They are incredible. So you can go and search Canva templates. You can go and search Photoshop templates. If you're kind of new to design, I might stick with the Canva templates. So you can simply go there, search them, buy it, then bring it into Canva and make it your own, or bring it into Photoshop and make it your own, changing the fonts, changing the colors. So just because you see it looking, find one that you like the design and kind of the layout of the information, and then you can take it and tweak it and save it as a template so you can use it for the rest of your images, but it really looks branded to you. Then I want to build any pages. So if I'm delivering things on my website and I'm creating like a day one challenge page or a day two challenge page, I like to go and actually build those pages at the stage and then have the URLs as well before I move on to my final step of things, which is going in and formatting the emails for delivering my daily content. So this is where I go and I use those headers that I created. I use those videos, I use those worksheet links. So I have everything ready and I'm building it so that the challenge, I'm not needing to figure things out when I'm actually focused on engaging in the challenge. Everything is pre-scheduled and pre-created ahead of time. So once you are finished creating all of the content for your challenge, it is time to promote it. It is time to get it out into the world and in front of and the people who need it most to sign up for it. And so we want to make sure you're dedicating a big portion of your project time for putting together this challenge on the promotion side of things. So I like to design any additional promotional graphics. Most of them I might have done in the previous step when I drafted up those banners, but maybe I need some different ones. So I might look at, do I want additional ones for Instagram stories, for instance, anything like that. And then I'm also writing my promotional images. So usually I write 3 long versions of a promotional message for the challenge, just telling people what it's all about. I'm really pulling from phase 1 where I talked about like, what is the purpose of the challenge? What are they walking away with, both tangibles and intangibles? So I use those as themes and jumping off points for the promotional messages for the challenge because I've just spent so much time thinking about what those things are. Then I also do 3 short versions as well. So I have lots to choose from when it comes to those 2 to 3 weeks before the challenge begins when I'm really doing my best to promote it. I also like to think about the PESO strategy. So this is from Gina Dytrek of Spin Sucks, and it stands for paid, earned, shared, and owned. And this is just a really great way to make sure that you're not relying all on social media and then having it kind of fall flat. It's really to make sure that you have a well-rounded promotional strategy and making sure you're covering hopefully one from most of these buckets. So paid stand for, Facebook ads or Instagram ads. Could also be a little bit of affiliate marketing here. So if you have people sharing it, you could do it that way. Another thing is earned. So how are you reaching out to your biz besties to maybe share the word about your challenge, or maybe getting in some different groups and doing some guest teaching. So off the back of that, you can invite people to the challenge. So thinking about earned is like getting in front of other people's audiences. Then we have shared. So that is where social media comes in. So thinking about, what are the platforms? Where am I promoting this? Where am I using those promotional messages that I created? And then owned is your own website. So this is your own website. This is the traffic that you own. This is the channels that you have complete control over. So this is your email marketing and this is your blog. So maybe you do a couple of blogs about the challenge and you're definitely sending some emails to your list to let them know about it and invite them to it. So that's a great way to make sure when you're coming up with your promotional strategy for your challenge that you're really not putting all your eggs in one basket, but you're creating a really, really well-rounded strategy. So then the final step of this promotional promote your challenge phase of the putting together your challenge method would be to go and create your sign-up system. So this would be creating your form in your email service provider, creating your opt-in page where people can sign up for the challenge, the thank you page where they get a little bit of information, and then the welcome email. So even if they sign up, 2 weeks ahead of the challenge, they're getting a welcome email basically being like, we're getting started here. I'm so excited to have you. Here's what you got to know right now. So getting that welcome email so that it sends out automatically after somebody signs up. Those are the 4 pieces that you want to really put together: the form, the opt-in page, the thank you page, and the welcome email. And then you're ready for people to start signing up. So after that, just get promoting it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you looking forward to hosting your first or next challenge? Tell me in the comments, and if you want more videos like this one, click on the next video on your screen and make sure to subscribe for new videos just like this one every single Monday.